Beyond.
Beyond.
That's right. It's Beyond. It is the last Beyond of 2016. That means the year is almost over. I don't even know what episode number this is, but we have a wonderful kind of 2016 send-off episode lined up for you. We have a pile of questions you guys asked, such as, what's your favorite movie from 1995 and why is it Heavyweights? But first, we have a message from our sponsor. Naomi, take it away.
Thanks, Max. And yep, this holiday season, World of Tanks and IGN is bringing you a special giveaway. You'll have a chance to win a PlayStation 4 and some World of Tanks goodies. To enter, head to this super festive link, go.ign.com/beyondgiveaway, all one word. And if you want to try World of Tanks, it's completely free to download for PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. So come celebrate the holidays with IGN and World of Tanks. Warm wishes to you all. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Naomi. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Max Scoville. I'm with Brian Altano.
What's up?
And that's Andrew Goldfarb over there.
What was 95? 94 had a bunch of good movies. I don't know what else.
95 had a lot of good movies. We can come back to this. Ooh. And that's Marty Sleva right there.
What's Heavyweights?
It's a movie about large boys who go to summer camp.
94 had the prequels to Heavyweights with the skinny kid who just got a whole box of Twinkies in a truck.
94?
Yeah. So
quiz show.
You know what? Screw it. Let's just go right into this.
Hold on. You want to say where we get these questions from?
These questions came from the Podcast Beyond Facebook group. If you're having a lonely holiday and you want to make some friends and goof around about video games, or you got something from your aunt that you don't like and you want to trade it for something cooler, or from some rube, well,
My
you
aunt
can do
gave
that.
me a salamander.
You can't trade salamanders. They're living things. That's against the terms and service of Facebook.
Oh.
Anyway, go to facebook.com/group/podcastbeyond and go make a new friend over there. We've got a bunch of wonderful kids who hang out, and they're, kids of all ages, the ones who like the games. But it was Joey Hernandez who asked us this fateful question that we'll use to start this off.
What? You just jumping all over the place?
No, Joey Hernandez, he asked, what's your favorite movie from 1995 and why is it Heavyweights? I have this not a theory, because that would require facts. I have like a bizarrely specific memory about movies that came out in 1995, and I think 95 was the best year for movies.
No, 94 is the best year for movies.
No, 95.
Because 94 is like Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Four Weddings and Funeral. It was like Shawshank Redemption.
Gump. I know it came out in 94.
Forrest Gump, yeah.
Forrest Gump's not a good movie.
95 was Die Hard with a Vengeance, Toy Story. I'm probably drawing some
GoldenEye, Batman Forever, Seven, Casper, Waterworld, Jumanji, Apollo 13, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Whoa. Did you
Pocahontas?
say Casper and Waterworld?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then shut it down. That's the best movie.
Dude, Max, this year sucks for movies.
No. It's a good year. Anyway, my favorite is probably Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, wait. Babe. Babe
What?
came out that year.
What is it, honey? What do you want? What's wrong?
No, Babe is the best movie of that year.
No, it's not.
Yes, Babe is one of the 10 best movies ever made.
With that sick animal that can talk?
He wasn't sick. It was a
Babe
very
2.
healthy
I
pig.
thought Babe 2 was a good one.
No, Babe 1 was nominated for many Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
Yeah, such a sick as animal.
He wasn't a sick animal. He talked, which means he was extremely
No,
healthy.
that's a problem. An animal should not do that. That's a very
But that's a
sick
positive
animal.
sickness.
Anyway,
Like having a bunch of muscles.
we got other questions from our fine groups. Harry Loizides says, "What was your most disappointing game of 2016?" I feel like that's a really good one because we always
Man's
focus on
Sky.
the positive. That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the weird reverse hype cycle for that game where like I was actually underwhelmed by the original reveal. I didn't get why everyone was so excited. And then hook, line, and sinker, I bought everything after that. Like when we did our first, that E3 one that you guys did, I was really excited for that game, like genuinely. And then by the time it came out, I put in like 8-9 hours probably.
Yeah, I did about the same. I think I was like pretty much skeptical of it for a while, or cautiously optimistic at the very least. But I don't think that was like, I mean, it wasn't a huge disappointment for me because I didn't have a lot invested in it. That's the kind of the trick, is that you don't care that much. It's not going to hurt that much when it's not great. My last experience with that game was actually awesome. I played it for like 4 hours, and then we went, I think I went to Gamescom. And then I came back like 3 weeks later and everybody was really mad at it. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll stop playing it. Yeah. But I had like a great 4-hour experience with that game, plus a couple nights before that week. And I got in a plane and then just was like, that's a good game. And when I came back, everything was on fire.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the worst thing about that game is that they let it get out of control hype-wise. And, you know, it was kind of, oh, it's a PS4 console exclusive. It's a big thing. But honestly, you know, it's coming from a small team whose big claim to fame was like Joe Danger. I think if they'd basically, as opposed to trying to frame it as the next Minecraft, if they'd taken more of a Minecraft approach and been like, hey, we're going to be on early access, we're going to be doing a thing.
I think it was a like sort of a problem combination of being too open before and being too closed after. Like they said too much going in and they didn't say anything going out. When the game was out, like they went into silence for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it was one of those, like, I think being announced with so much pomp and circumstance and being, you know, up against all these AAA games. If that had just been announced with a blog post, I don't think there would have been the same fervor.
And also, like, it's like we're partially to blame. The fan base is partially to blame. Like the fact that we kept covering it because it kept doing extremely well and people wanted more information. And so we would do IGN first.
True.
We would do these big features. And I don't know, it's sort of like a cautionary tale that everyone should pump the brakes a little bit.
Well, it's also like, I think like if Sony comes in, they swooped in at E3 a few years ago and like took that game under their wing.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to help sort of like fund this and keep the lights on and take care of you guys. Yeah. And then the game came out and everyone kind of just like recoiled from it a little bit, even their own PR people or lack thereof.
Sure.
Did the collector's edition even come out? Like, I remember they announced that one with the plane, and I don't even remember if that, like, there was one you could buy in stores, but there was one with like the plane.
Yeah.
Well, the weirdest thing was one of the collector's edition, or like the ultimate edition that came out in Europe or whatever. It had that little logo on the back that said like supports online play or whatever, and they had to put stickers over it.
Yeah. Never a good sign.
Yeah.
And I guess No Man's Sky wasn't the only one. I would say like Nintendo as a whole. Like I loved Pokemon Go, but like Star Fox was super underwhelming. Having Zelda slip into next year.
I don't know what my favorite Nintendo game was this year, which is
Kirby
odd.
Planet Robobot.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
What about Mafia 3?
I was kind of like, I was really optimistic about that one, but I didn't have a ton invested in it. That would have been like, if anything, the best thing that game could have been this year was like a really awesome surprise.
So yeah, my thing with things like Mafia and Last Guardian, both of which I reviewed, is that they had elements that were disappointing.
Yeah.
Like the actual, the open world design and moment-to-moment gameplay of Mafia was sort of disappointing in comparison to its amazing story. And then the frustrations with controlling Trico was disappointing when compared to the amazing highs of The Last Guardian.
Well, both of them were gameplay disappointments specifically. Whereas I think the story and the like
world and the design and the
I'm gonna catch hell for this, but probably Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
And not that it's a bad game by any means, but that it like was to me kind of like a 7.5. And I mean, I didn't want a 10. Everyone wants a 10 for every game. But Uncharted 2 and 3 are like some of my favorite games of all time. And I just like playing those games. And I found this one to be sort of tedious at times. We've talked at great length on the show about why some of us weren't super crazy about it. But yeah, there's a great game in there somewhere. And I think it was just like a little long in the tooth. But yeah, I don't know. It's an odd game to look back on because I think a lot of the audience kind of came around to being like, it takes a few months to sort of be like, oh, wait a minute, where does that really sit in my brain these days?
So on that note, Mitchell Clay wrote, what in your humble opinions was the most overhyped game of 2016?
I mean, No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty safe bet one. Yeah. I mean, Uncharted 4 kind of too, like really, really incredible game, but like, yeah, I mean, I would compare it to like, I don't know. It didn't stick with me, you know. Like the other ones, like the moments of those games really just stand out, and they feel like cool dreams that I remembered somehow.
Yep.
That being said, like we're doing a feature on, I don't know if it's already up, of like the sort of the most impressive moments in games this year, and like thinking about stuff like the clock tower scene in Uncharted and almost all of Madagascar. Like that game has these moments where I look back and both house explorations. Like I'm going to look back so fondly on it. And I sort of over Christmas break want to go back and revisit those specific moments.
Yeah,
and then just be able to skip around.
That's one thing I really like about that game is it lets you do that. I mean, I just got a new TV that's like the perfect time to just jump in and see what that thing looks like.
Yeah, especially with the filters.
Yeah.
It's a funny game in that way because I think The Last of Us is like that too. I tried to replay The Last of Us a while ago, and like the moments I remember from that game are like incredible and like unparalleled, but there's still plenty of like, I had a save file that started out in the part where the sniper's coming after you and you have to like slowly approach the house. And I was like, I want to play this again. No, like there's still parts of the gameplay.
I just started the game again the other day and I was like, instead of restarting it, I jumped in and I was like, in The Last of Us, and I was like, oh, I'm on the part where you have to push that car down the hill in the suburbs. And like all these people just started attacking me and they killed me like 5 times. And I was like, all right, I need some time to get back into this.
And I think that's like, it's true of Uncharted 4 also. Like with time, I've actually liked it more because I'm remembering all those big moments that I loved. But I'm sure if I sit down to actually play through it again, there's still moments like in most games that are a little bit of a slog.
I would say in terms of games that were like the most talked about this year, probably Overwatch is the game that you couldn't go anywhere without hearing. But I'm not qualified to tell you if that's an overrated game or not. I can tell you that it didn't stick with me.
Yeah, but you're
it's
not
a
like a
Blizzard game.
competitive shooter game.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
Star Wars aside.
But it's a Blizzard game.
Yeah.
Like it's not that it's a competitive shooter or whatever. It's the fact that people fall in love with those games and they support the communities. I mean, they are the only publisher that has a publisher-wide convention. I guess Gearbox has that one, but like,
And
Well, they have like, I mean, they partner with.
well, Minecon
South.
is Minecraft, but yeah, like it's just kind of, I mean, it's nuts. It's they're like, hey, Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch.
Yeah, and then obviously both Final Fantasy 15 and Last Guardian having literally talked about them for 10 years in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those games were.
I'll also catch out for this one, but a lot of people said that like Titanfall was the best shooter single player campaign in year. I was like, no, I don't really
completely
see it.
disagree with that. I think that
so-
campaign is incredible.
Sidestep
Yeah,
here.
it's good. It's good. People were like, it's the best. It's amazing. I was like,
You just
yeah.
wanted a walking
let's-
simulator.
Let's shift gears here.
I do.
Seward Cook.
Everything all right?
I don't know how to read your name.
where
I'm
is this
sorry.
one?
Most underrated game of 2016 by reviewers or by consumers doesn't matter. Love you guys. My 2016 would have been way worse without you.
Are you talking about Tokyo Mirage?
you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Token Mirage Sessions. The game's really good.
I was going to say
got really into that.
on the subject of first-person shooters, Far Cry Primal was fantastic,
Yeah.
and it came out in like February.
That was February.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot it was this year.
I platinumed that game. That game's awesome. I recently started playing Overcooked, which I totally slept on. I don't know why. That's probably the best couch co-op game
So
on
fun.
PS4.
Yeah.
Like it's like pee your pants funny in how ridiculous that game gets. And it's just like you and your wife are making cheeseburgers together and you're like, how are we married? Like this is a couples fighting simulator. It's great. It's
There's
such a great game.
A game I didn't expect to like and played a lot of on Vita, Dragon Quest Builders. It's just I'm not a Minecraft guy at all, and I really thought that was just going to be a Minecraft clone, but I got the demo and then ended up getting the full game because it's actually super fun and has like. I'm not even really that into core Dragon Quest games, but there's just something very charming about it. It also has funny dialogue. That and World of Final Fantasy are probably my two most played Vita games this year, and they're both just cute and charming and work really, really well portable.
Yeah, there's a couple, like, this was an amazing year for indies, especially indies getting spotlighted. Like, everyone was talking about The Witness and Firewatch. I think Oxenfree and Virginia were two games that people haven't really been talking about a ton that I think are sort of should be mentioned in the same breath.
I
as
played
other games.
Oxenfree. It didn't grab me, but I haven't tried Virginia yet.
Yeah,
I
Virginia's
really
man.
want to.
Private Investigator one.
Yeah, it's like sort of like Twin Peaksy, but tells storytelling without dialogue.
Yeah,
I feel
really
like a
wanna see
lot of
that.
people slept on Oxenfree because it started out exclusive and then came over.
sure.
But man, I think like there are a lot of people who are iffy on the dialogue and on things like that. But like to me, that is the closest thing we have to like a Stranger Things game. Like it has that vibe of just like everything's a little off and weird and almost nostalgic because it's younger characters.
Until we get Crossing Souls, which is like totally a Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Goonies 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
There you go.
And then my last two are Headlander, which was a really great, stylish Metroidvania from Double Fine.
I skipped that one. I'm such
Really
an
good.
idiot
Yeah.
for skipping that one.
I think you would love it.
Yeah, I totally
And then we talk about it all the time here, but Ratchet and Clank, I feel like is
Oh, yeah.
a game everyone should have played this year.
Yeah, that's another one I forget is this year. It's
Well, it like came out of the tail end of that like not great movie, and I think it soured a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like there's that example of that not exactly helping. I mean, I feel like if there was an Assassin's Creed game this year, it wouldn't look good sitting next to the 17% that movie has on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes. you
It
know?
also came out like, wasn't it like 2 weeks before Uncharted 4?
Yeah, I think it was April, so it was right before.
Yeah, so it was right around. I remember like I think I beat it the same weekend that I got
Right.
Uncharted 4, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like 2 for 2 with awesome like PlayStation exclusives, and then Uncharted was like, fantastic. But I was like, I wound up kind of having fonder feelings of playing Ratchet and Clank, which I never
maybe
expected.
just entered with less baggage.
Yeah. Let's see. Jake Jackson says, when do we get another ham eating episode?
Well, you're in luck. I brought my famous pierogi.
I threw that one in there because at PSX, I realized there are two types of people that listen to the show. The people who are like,
the
"Hey, I
hams
love
and the
you."
ham knots.
Yeah, the hams and the ham nots. There are people that are like, "Hey, I really like your show, but don't ever do that ham thing again." They came up to me and told me that.
Yeah.
And there are people who are like, "That ham thing is some of the most like brilliant Kaufman-esque crap you've ever done." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yep.
We just ate a ham and got like meat drawn.
Yeah. That was really gross. That was a really gross episode. But
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it. I
I'm
think.
glad we had to get it out
we're
of our
gonna-
If
system.
we have ham on the show again, we're not going to eat it on the air. We'll do something weirder with it.
Well, we're actually Beyond 500 is gonna be held at a Rainforest Cafe.
They don't actually allow ham in there
Is that true?
because they have
Yeah.
to bulldoze rainforest to make
Yeah.
ham farms.
Why? There's plenty of pigs that live in the rainforest.
Jungle pigs.
They're called warhawks.
Man, I haven't been to Rainforest
I've seen The Lion
Cafe
King.
since I saw there's this video. It's like a slow motion video
Of the dust?
the butterfly flapping its wings and the dust that falls directly onto someone's food beneath it. It's like someone's smartphone thing of just like panning down. It's so gross.
I like to think that it's just flavor.
Yeah, they keep spices.
It's actually
Flavor blasted
a little
butterflies.
oregano.
traditional South American rainforest food is butterfly wings dusted. It's very good.
God.
Yeah. Lots of pollen in there.
I want to know what weird thing Max wants to do with that ham.
Oh, he's gonna put it.
I was thinking we'd make
Angus in it.
a large ocarina out of it and just have like a nice piece of surgical tubing we blow into to make it like a ham flute.
There's like a. I'm sorry. There's like a blinking red light.
Also, we're
on our
house
studio,
cats.
and it's kill. It's
Are you gonna?
Yeah, that's really weird.
Are you,
Our-
gonna, are you gonna try to make love to the ham?
It could be
phone
like
hole?
that's why someone
Yes.
ripped that one out.
Okay, everyone, stop it.
my
Just back on track.
microphone keeps
Just
spinning,
back on track,
twisting
you
around.
idiots.
Okay, Jono Knight sounds like an anime character. Can you and Marty talk about what you would want from a Bloodborne sequel?
It was you.
It's me.
You as Brian.
Yeah.
It was
You is Brian.
What do you think about this?
I think we're going to get a Bloodborne sequel because nothing that's successful goes unsequelized. Honestly, I have very few complaints about Bloodborne.
Yeah.
So more of the same, sort of exploring more weird corners of Yharnam in that world.
I like the the game didn't really have a day-night cycle, but
Yeah.
some areas were day and some were not. Like
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I mean, it'd be cool if it did have a day-night cycle.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like Zelda or
Castlevania 2.
Castlevania 2, where like bad stuff happened at night or only
Where
certain
stuff's
characters.
harder.
Yeah.
I appreciated the verticality in a lot of the enemies. Just more enemies. I mean, the ones they had there are just fantastic.
Yeah.
More surprise bosses.
Yes.
Like my favorite moment in that game was coming out of that prison and just being like, "I'm free," and like that horse skeleton dropped from the sky, and I killed him on my first try.
Yeah, but it
I
was,
don't
like,
know
so
how.
tense.
I
Yeah.
got so lucky playing that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, more stuff like that. More cool weapons.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like it had far fewer weapons than a standard Souls game.
Yeah.
So digging deeper into that.
Yeah, more weapons, more customization. Just really more. I just want more of that world. Like
Yeah.
there's not enough games that look like that, you know?
And not enough games reference menstruation. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they should just go really all in.
yeah.
Yeah, that's that Ratchet and Clank sequel we're waiting for.
Space menstruation, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Bloodborne 2, that time of the month.
Jesus.
Moon sickness. All right. On that note, I like what we're doing. I'm doing some really good segues here. Nick Zadaran, who makes those flavorful rice bowls. Zadaran.
Are you marking off these? You're marking these?
What is the game that caused you your biggest rage quit memory?
We're still talking about Bloodborne.
I know mine. Mine's easy. I split my head open playing it.
Wait, what? No, please do tell.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah. No, it was Bubsy on Super Nintendo. I had an old wooden rocking chair in a room, and I like had some awful death in Bubsy, and I like put the controller down and went to like fall backwards, and my head hit the bottom of a rocking chair and split my head open. I had to get like 12 stitches.
Most people just throw their controller, but
Yeah.
okay.
Most people just don't play Bubsy.
Most people don't put those damn rocking chairs in the gaming room.
Mine, at least when I was here in the office, was I did the guide for Final Fantasy 13-2, and I was capturing footage of one of the final boss fights, and it was taking me so incredibly long. And I finally beat it, and then I went to reach over and start recording something or do something, and my hand brushed against the eject button of the 360 Slim.
The
which
touch-based one.
It was all you had to do was just a light breeze, and I hit the eject button, and as the cutscene initiated, the disc just ejected, and so I had to redo that entire flight. I think that was the first time I left work and was like, they were like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "A bar. I'm going to a bar right now."
That's where it
because I can't
started,
handle this." Yes.
You had
Thanks,
never had
Sarah.
alcohol until
Yeah,
then.
Noel and Sarah.
God, that's really bad.
Game's so good though.
Yeah.
This had nothing to do with a video game, but I was
White Lightning Returns.
I was dating this Italian girl for a while, and we got in an argument because that's what the Italian women do with Italian men. They just fight.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with her. I got so mad. I threw like the portable phone in my bedroom at my platinum GameCube, and it bounced off the top. I'm really glad they make phones really expensive now because I would break one a day. But when phones used to be $8 at Radio Shack, you could throw one and not feel real bad. And I threw one at the top of my GameCube. And so it broke the phone and broke the top of my GameCube. So my GameCube just didn't have that circular disc on the top of it for a while.
Do you remember we saw that guy at Crossroads that time throw his phone?
Oh my God.
Yeah. We saw a guy just eviscerate a phone.
It was like an iPhone 5.
Yeah.
Or like a 6.
Yeah.
He was on the phone and he just started screaming and he threw and smashed his phone so hard. We walked outside. It was in like, you know, like the word smithereens? It was like like his SIM card had just turned into like the dust from the butterfly wings.
Good God. God, I'm trying to think. Like, I remember this wasn't really a rage quit, but I was playing Street Fighter with my friend one time, and like he was playing as Zangief and doing nothing but that pirouette thing where he goes spins across the screen.
He's a good Russian boy.
He just kept doing that, and I was like, hey, what if you didn't do that anymore? And I'm like, I was like hoping to play with like a joystick, but I wasn't. I was playing with the D-pad and just real bad at it, not knowing my moves. My friend just kicking my ass, and I just wound up like punching him really hard in the arm. Which is
really?
Oh no.
Yeah, and he just like laughed at me. He's like,
Do you remember that game Primal Rage? If you spam the same move too hard, a piece of cheese popped up on the screen.
That's really good.
Yeah,
Really?
it was like a cheese with like a no smoking or whatever that no sign. That sign doesn't have a name, by the way. It's like the no sign.
No, it's Richard.
Richard.
The Richard Cheese sign. Okay. Great. Mark Moorhead, tell us about IGN Christmas parties. Who makes the biggest fool of themselves?
Man, so every single year there's somebody throwing up outside of it as I get in the cab to leave.
I feel like it's new people a lot. It's like everybody's first Christmas party. I feel like people.
Scott Bromley, who we do the comedy button with, had a bad one. Oh man, okay, yeah,
throw him under the bus.
I don't care. None of these people work here anymore. Let's tell this story. Hillary Goldstein, who used to be the editor-in-chief at IGN, this is real. This is my second Christmas party at IGN. Decided to do this thing called stickers for shots, where every time you took a shot, you got like a gold sticker, and you had to wear it on your face. So people were just taking shots, and the winner got a prize: alcoholism and cirrhosis of the liver. So I had one sticker, and I looked over and there was some guy with 5, and I'm like, I don't want 5 shots. That's crazy. I'm just going to sip my drinks and just relax and have a good time. I just started here. I'm not trying to be an ass and take over the world. So I look over, and Hillary Goldstein has like 7 stickers on him. And then I look over at Scott Bromley, and he's just like mouth dropped, just like drooling, and he's got like 12 stickers on him. So the thing is about Scott, he can't lose a competition.
Yeah.
So, Scott won stickers for shots. He did like 12 or 13 shots, like an insane person.
What was his prize?
They gave him a $100 Amex gift card, and then he got in a cab and threw up all over the cab. And I think he gave the gift card to the cab driver, or he tipped the cab driver $100 because he felt so bad. Yep. Then he got back to his apartment, which was, I believe, the apartment where Colin and Greg live now.
Yeah, he lived in Colin.
Because him and Colin were roommates.
Greg's room.
And and Scott was going up the stairs to get in that apartment and ended up throwing up on the stairs and I think passing out there. So that's a thing you should never do at a company Christmas party. Yeah. Don't ever do stickers for shots.
And I feel like we drink relatively often, and so we can handle ourselves at work events. It's a lot of times it's people who don't go out too much.
Yeah.
Lightweights, they call them. Loosey-gooseys.
Righty tighties.
Yes.
Last year I had a panic attack at the party, and then you were very nice.
That wasn't a panic attack. That was just you being depressed and the sad boy.
100% a panic attack.
Yeah, that was fun because it was pouring rain and you were crying, and I went outside and somebody gave me an umbrella to give you.
There's like a picture of him with like a Princess Toadstool umbrella.
Really nice. Yeah.
And I'm wearing like a suit and I'm shaved and scruffy and I'm like giving you this like Italian uncle dress.
We were really excited that you were going to kiss.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how we got him to stop crying.
Christmas
He was
party.
like, ugh, if kissing's like that, I'm not sad about anything.
If kissing's like that. How awful would it be if your first kiss ever was with Brian?
I mean, that happened to at least 2 girls.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
But I've never been anyone's first kiss.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. You look like the bottom of a barbershop.
All right.
I've been someone's last kiss.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No one's dead.
Well, plenty of people are.
I'm sure someone you've kissed hasn't kissed anyone since the last time they kissed you, so technically that's probably true.
Statistically, you've kissed a dead girl while she was alive.
What the hell?
What?
Beyond.
All
The
right.
grave.
Rise from the grave.
Power up. Cameron Smith says, looking back on 2016, what was your favorite moment / experience while working for IGN?
God. Oh my God. There's so many.
What did we do this year?
We did. So Pear did this awesome like speech at our Christmas party that I was just like, man, this was a good year for IGN. Like we did a lot of cool stuff. Man, the thing is, like, I've gone on so many trips with you guys, and they've all kind of blurred together.
Yeah.
Where we've done like we've done incredibly stupid things.
And even like the terrible trips, like we went to CES last year.
Oh, it was a
and
blast.
it was so much fun, even though we were exhausted. We hate Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I meant
you and me and you, the three of us were drunken as senior frogs, laughing at all the signs in the ceiling.
he was there. Zach and Alana were there.
I've never seen you before in my life.
me and Max were just taking long lunches and
Hey,
being like,
you know what they
missed
say?
everybody.
If you're drunken as senior frogs, anyone can be there.
We went to San Diego Comic-Con, and you competed in double there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I ran into DMX in a parking lot.
That
and
was weird.
Hideo Kojima while I was browsing Sideshow toys.
That was really weird. Yeah, and I got to interview Danny McBride. That was awesome. I went to Germany with Goldfarb and Zach.
I was at that one, yeah.
And thanks. And there's no senior frogs in Germany. Get on that, senior
There
frogs.
are awful chocolate museums.
Meister Frog.
Yeah, this year, me and Zach went to Japan. We got to see where Final Fantasy 15 was made. We were in BD2 of Square Enix, which was like a just completely insane moment. Like seeing in development like cactuars and just watching a Final Fantasy get made. It was weird and surreal and cool.
Max and I had a few hours free in New York at New York Comic Con, and we went to the Museum of Natural History, and we laughed at all the sculptures. It was like cosplaying as a seventh grader.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Yeah, we were like, oh, it was like we're on a field trip, and then we'd been looking at like, you know, custom amiibo and action figures and new prototypes and like cosplayers all this time. We're like, here we are in the Central Peruvian section where they've announced a bunch of new McFarlane toys and they all look like crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, that was
Down
awesome.
450 was fun. We got
that was great.
Yeah, shoot like a 3-hour show with Greg and Colin.
Yeah, IGN House Party was awesome. Yeah. We got to meet a bunch of people, and Max and I got to do
20th
basically
anniversary.
like 20 minutes of stand-up. That was fun. Yeah, this is a good year for
E3
for
as a
that.
whole, like Newsday, pre-post shows.
Yeah, I love E3. We were just talking about that. Like E3, I look forward to E3 every year.
Yeah, I was like, I was super happy with the way we did E3 this year. He's really proud of us,
So
especially you, Mandy.
Mandy Potemkin? Mandy the Battleship Potemkin?
Cecil Davison says, should we stop making big budget films based on video games? Reviews are coming in for Assassin's Creed, and it is not doing so hot.
Are
on
they
the old-
hot? They are
the Rotten Tomatoes.
The Rotten Tomatoes.
Roddy Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Roddy Tomatoes?
Ricky Tomatoes.
Number
I have
one
to
critic of the world, Rotten Tomatoes says.
I have to remind people every single. It's like once a month. I'm like, hey, Rotten Tomatoes is not a man. No one would never name their kid that. That's not one reviewer with 70
Robert
quotes.
Tomatoes.
Somebody somewhere would probably name their kids.
Yeah, I mean, we all hoped Assassin's Creed / Warcraft would be good. They were not. We all hope Tomb Raider is going to be good because the casting is great.
I think big budget in his question is the key here. I think there's room where you could take a really intimate game story and make it good on a small
Firewatch,
scale.
which is being made into a
Firewatch.
movie.
Exactly.
But we haven't learned yet if the small budget video game blockbusters will also be garbage.
Because we don't have one.
Because we don't have
makes
one yet.
Indie game movies,
I
except for
think-
Indie Game the movie.
I think they will be. Because this is my new stance, and this is a safe one. This is a platform I'm running on in 2017. Video game movies are bad, and stop getting excited for them.
Okay, I'm gonna burst your bubble. There's never been an election in an odd year aside. No, never mind. I was about to say something bad. Nothing. Keep going.
So
Beyond.
I think that the key thing is you have to pick a movie that or a game that doesn't feel like it already has a movie.
Yeah.
Like a Last of Us movie is not interesting to me because I've already seen The Road and Children of Men.
Yep.
I can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark or Romancing the Stone instead of watching Uncharted. Like there are things that are very
How about someone who
derivative.
has sex with a rock?
Yeah.
It's Michael Douglas bangs a rock. How do you think you got that cancer?
Well, you know the actual.
The Rock?
Do you
I know
how
the reason he said
Yeah.
yes.
I know how he got it.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know that?
Do you know?
for those of you just tuning in, Michael Douglas once attributed
No.
his
Yes, no, you can. This is fine. I'm gonna allow it.
We can say this?
his throat cancer to a certain type of downstairs kissing that adults do.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Basement eating.
Anyway, glad we bleeped the swear words on this show. I think that if you're gonna make a video game movie that works, you got to take something like that's totally out there. I think BioShock could work because I've never seen a movie that's like, oh hey, it's the Fountainhead, but
it's
deep
called
under the sea.
Snowpiercer.
Why does my microphone keep spinning?
I mean, that's after the
Because
fact.
you
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
saying things like that.
No, for sure. I mean, that actually.
there we go.
Is the most succinct way I've ever heard anyone
What,
say.
BioShock?
No,
No,
just any movie that already exists that does what the game did. Probably doesn't need to be remade.
What about Star Wars Battlefront, the movie?
It's just fight scenes. There's no story whatsoever.
Oh, so it's the last 30 minutes of Rogue One.
And the same X-Wing keeps crashing over and over again.
Yep.
I was going to say, to follow this up, Ed Knowles says, Beyond, love the podcast. What is your Dreamcast for the Metal Gear Solid film? I think Metal Gear Solid is one of those series that could conceively make a good movie.
A small scale, like a piece of it.
It has to be just weird enough. It has to be just weird enough and like weird, not like, let's try to reboot this and make it hip, because that would just mess it up left and right. But the idea that a bunch of superpowered terrorists take over a robot storage facility and then this 80s action hero has to break in and like fight his clone brother.
Yep.
Like, it would be insane. It would not be a good film, but it could be a really fun movie.
So if you're casting tomorrow, who is it? Obviously, you can't get Kurt Russell. He's too old.
Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin for Solid Snake.
I want Ryan Gosling because I want him in everything.
Yeah, I want Oscar Isaac in there somewhere.
Yeah. I want Tom Hiddleston as...
I want Brie Larson in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Are you just putting people you love in this movie? Or
Yeah,
you
it's
want
not
to
really
play
how
him?
No,
casting
Tom
works.
Hiddleston could work as Liquid.
Yeah, he could definitely work as Liquid. I can see
Wilford
that.
Brimley as the End.
Yeah.
I want to see that man
right.
in his wheelchair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's like I want kind of weirdo, like unheard of people probably.
Jessica Chastain as the boss.
What?
Okay.
Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy as Revolver Ocelot. I don't know. I haven't
The
played
Rock
another
is
game.
Vulcan Raven.
Oh, they probably would do that, huh?
You think so?
I don't think they could afford him, but that's what they'd probably go for.
Who would be the box? I'll wait.
Kojima himself. He will mocap himself and become box.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Corbin Snodgrass says, "What are you thankful for this Christmas season?" I would like to say your username.
That's his actual legal name. You can't because you can't create anything fake on Facebook.
Well, it's-
Nothing
it's-
fake has ever
it's-
been on
It's the
Facebook.
name that's being used to use Facebook, so it's technically a username. What are you guys thankful for this Christmas season? I mean, obviously,
I used up all the questions I was going to put at the end. It was going to be like a heartfelt ending, and now we're just going to end with like, oh, what's the best ocean?
It's the Atlantic.
Is that true?
Wow.
It's, the Pacific has crabs, but they all are full of mercury. Science time.
what do you thankful
I'm thankful for my dumbass friends that got me through this very hard year. This year sucked.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was difficult for a lot of us. It was difficult for me. And I had like my good friends to look forward to. I've spent most of my adult life laughing and goofing around about completely stupid crap with dumb idiots. And that's great. Thanks, guys, for being the dumb idiots.
No,
We'll
but seriously,
always be the dumb idiots.
A couple hours a week, we get to get in a room with it's us, and then folks like Jared and Zach and Alana, and then everyone on the Comedy Button, and I don't know. It's therapy.
It really is.
It's absolutely not therapy.
Oh, never mind. It's not therapy,
Therapeutic,
guys.
but it's
Yeah, you can't spell therapeutic without therapeutic.
Yeah, I get lots of exercise. I do 3 or 5 jumps on my couch every week and maybe do a somersault down the lawn, if you know what I'm saying.
Me and my
friends
friends passing around a 6-foot sub.
It's lots of cardio when you're lifting big sandwiches to your mouth.
It's like the protein thing you said about bread being filled with eggs. Or
That's what my dad said. I was like, "Are you eating well?" He's like, "Yeah, I had pasta," and I'm like, "Pasta's not eating well." And he's like, "It's protein." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "There's protein in bread," and I was like, "No, there's not." There's a guy with like a perfect body writing in right now. Just go do pull-ups.
I also love the idea that someone thinks they're getting stronger by eating a 6-foot sub, but it's actually just getting lighter and lighter.
That's pretty good. I like they did. Somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I've been eating a lot of ice cream because it's got calcium in it. I'm gaining weight, but it's mostly on my skeleton because it's helping my bones grow."
Big heavy bones.
All right. Kevin Adderdig says, first of all, thanks for the thank y'all for another laughs, goofs, and insight. Another laughs, goofs, and insight. All right, you're welcome. Can't wait for another year of it. Where do you want Beyond to go or grow or expand upon in 2017?
I really want to do more live stuff. We had there's been a million game scoops at PAX and PAX East, but we had a Beyond panel at PAX. That was cool. I would love more of that. I'd love at East and at Comic-Con and all over the place.
Yeah, and we're
PSX.
We're starting.
imagine that.
We're starting to plan stuff for Beyond 500, which will be in the summer, which will definitely be something live. But yeah, it'd be cool to be able to take the show on the road and do it at places that aren't live events, not necessarily in San Francisco. Live events on the East Coast, live events in the Midwest.
Yeah, I want to get better at doing
New York Comic-Con would be
like
good.
Let's Play stuff series. You guys are doing the awesome Skyrim series now that you guys should totally check out. Yeah, more stuff like that I think is really fun. Like I think it's awesome when you and Alana play games together, Marty, or like if you put Goalie and I on Persona. I think we did like one Let's Play and then we had to pull it down because of legal reasons.
Yeah, Marty and I did like 6 that we had to pull down for legal reasons. Yeah, that for sure. I want to get devs in. We haven't. I mean, in the past, like we had Shuhei on a lot. I'd like to make that happen again. It would be cool to have some PlayStation folks come on. I know Ryan's kind of doing Unfiltered now, which is sort of kind of taking the place of that a little bit. But I think it would be great to have some people on with us just to talk more. Having Boys, Dave Lang was
that was one of my favorite episodes this year.
Yeah.
So more stuff like that. More leaning on our awesome audience. Like they're really great. Like this is, I think to be totally honest, when we first took on this show, like there were some people that are like, I'll give them a chance, and there were some people that were like, I hate them. And we gave you guys a lot of reasons to give us a chance, and we also gave you a lot of reasons to hate us. And the people that stuck with us have been really, really cool and really passionate, and being at PSX and being at PAX and House Party and meeting people who just like are just rock with us is really cool. So yeah, I mean, more leaning on the group, more leaning on the like YouTube, like on just the email questions, everything, like anything we can do to integrate the audience better. I think we did some really cool stuff this year. So more of that.
Yeah. And I mean, we're always like pushing to grow it. I think like this year was really when it started to feel like I was a part of the show, and I don't know, it's weird. Like they threw me at this. They were like, hey, we're hiring you to take Greg's old job, take over his show. And I'm like, well, it's going to be real weird to do that, but okay. We're very different dudes, but you know.
Yeah, but now we got the Looney Tunes logo in the back.
Yeah. For those of you watching on our lovely video form of the show, you should check out the fun pictures I made for the TVs.
Yeah.
They're very fun, festive
kindled
holiday
the menorah.
pictures. Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate what a real good job you did on Nathan Drake's holiday sweater.
Thanks.
That was really nice.
I used blending layers modes or something. I don't know what Photoshop is called.
And you're gonna hit 2 years when we get back, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I'll be working at IGN for 2 whole years.
Wow.
Wacky. Michael Britton says, can you please give a shout out to one person, place, thing that didn't get enough attention, credit, or respect this year? One last chance to clap someone on the back, perhaps. You guys got any for this? I wish I'd prepped this one better.
Yeah, wow.
I shared the doc with you.
I had a very funny name.
I wanted to give a shout out to Ismahawk, who asked Max and I we kind of asked him. It was just a conversation. He was making a Power Rangers fan film. And fan film is like a disingenuous way of saying like, this is the coolest short Power Rangers movie anyone's ever made. And it's better than the movies released theatrically so far. So he sort of had this running joke of like putting Bulk and Skull in it, but Max and I had a running joke about how we're Bulk and Skull. So we put together these like sort of like 2016 remix versions of costumes. We worked with Sean Finnegan, who's producing this show right now, awesome cinematographer, who went out in San Francisco in the night in front of the ballpark where cars were just whizzing by and got this awesome shot of Max and I that Danny put in his film. Danny makes his own props. He does his own special effects. He writes, he produces and edits. It's absolutely insane. So I think he's got a Patreon too and a podcast called Hawk Talk. So go check that out. He's was on Up at Noon years and years ago, and we kind of became friends then, and we've ran into each other ever since then. So watch his Power Rangers movie if you want to see an awesome cameo from the two of us, and just support that guy. Like that's the kind of, like, we're always saying, like, you have a phone in your pocket now, you can make a movie, and a lot of people don't really do it. And Danny's the kind of guy that just like takes everything and makes something out of it, and that's just incredibly cool to see.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I want to give a shout out to, he's on my shirt if you're listening, Jared Petty. Who he's
Stole
gone
mine.
now. Max made this.
I meant you stole. I was going to say Jared because okay. But
Well, you
go
guys-
ahead.
I thought you meant I stole your shirt.
You guys put Jared
No,
together.
sorry. I would never fit into that.
No,
shirt.
Jared, I love Jared. I'm gonna miss Jared. And he's genuinely one of the nicest people I've probably ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I think Pockets Full of Soup is probably the most positive show I've ever heard.
Yeah,
He's doing
seriously.
more and more stuff that's like, without being like saccharine or just gross or anything. He's doing.
There's like a lot of fake positive on YouTube right now where people are just like, if you like me, I'll like you. And it's like, that's not real.
Yeah, Jared's positivity always has like kind of just a tinge of like bittersweet like sorrow to it. You know,
Yeah.
like he's always like, hey, life is weird and cruel, but Sega Saturn games are fun. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, he also probably genuinely listens more than anyone I've ever met in my life, and I think that's why Pockets Full of Soup is really good. He, like, someone tells a long rambling story about their childhood, and then he just perfectly incisively finds the most important part of it and is like, well, how did this affect you, or why did that mean something to you?
Yeah. I walked into the office today and I turned a corner and I saw a large man that wasn't him. And I got sad for a second because I'm like, Jared's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I realized it was going to take about 2 or 3 weeks for that to hit me, and it took about 2 or 3 days.
Turns out it was the kingpin of crime, Wilson Fisk
Oh,
himself.
no,
who'd
the
infiltrate- Yeah.
Fiskars is in the building.
Whiskers Fiskars, as he's called down in Hell's Kitchen, home of the old Hornhead.
What do you idiots have?
It's just me. I'm just the last idiot.
Yourself?
Yeah, no. A lot of
Obviously.
a lot of the people we get to work with who don't get to be on these shows,
Yeah.
and who may or maybe appear only occasionally, or help, edit every single week, like Dan Parkhurst, or
Yeah.
folks like Chloe and Jonathan, who are on our editorial team and who've been on the show but don't get to be regulars or recurring guests.
Yeah, or like Kirsten, who
Yeah.
arranged most of the live shows you were probably at
yes,
this year.
exactly.
They're in the cut, as they say
yeah.
in rap songs.
Ooh, they don't.
Deep in the cut.
All right,
Yeah,
that's actually where Dan Parkhurst just walked up to the window of the studio and made this, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, we
Hey,
see
there he
you.
is.
Get
yeah,
out
we're
of
giving him
here.
a shout out.
Is he the one doing that weird red light
Please
thing?
leave, Dan. We're doing the show right now.
No, but like I think a lot of people were like, I want a job at IGN, and they think there's like 7 jobs here, and it's the people that sit on microphones. But like this functions because of people like them, you know.
Yeah.
Totally. I wanted to once again recommend my buddy Luis's game Jazzpunk, which is out on PSN. It was on like Steam for ages, and then it finally came on PS4 this year. I'm not saying this as a critic. I'm saying it as a friend of his. It's a really cool, weird game. I became friends with the guy because of what he was making, which is like this first-person Mad Magazine meets Blade Runner-esque game, and it's incredibly strange, and it's definitely worth checking out. But
I've never met him, and I love the game.
Yeah.
So no bias there.
Well, it's good because he's actually he's just a very rude man in person.
Ooh.
Oh, you separate the art from the
He's
artist.
always spitting on the floor, and he litters constantly.
That's okay.
Yeah, you litter a lot too, though. But you,
I don't ever litter. I am fussy
You got
and
this
clean.
red crap all over the table.
That's
What's
not
that?
me.
For every
That
piece
was
of litter
absolutely
you
you.
leave
Yeah, that
behind
was
you, you
definitely
donate
you.
a small amount of money to charity.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
Of
carry
your
around
choosing.
like scraps of yarn with you.
I do. Yeah, my
No, it was
charity,
on the bottom of your cup. I don't know where it came from.
my charity litters kids for kids that grew up eating litter. That I put there.
Yeah, you formed a group called the Literati.
I've got a Hansel and Gretel disorder. I have to leave a trail of something behind me at all times for fear
Yeah.
of stumbling into a forest
Just like
and
Monk
encountering
from the
witches.
series Monk.
I'm writing a book called Litter Richard. It's literature for Richards who grew up eating litter. Shut it down.
Shut up. What do we have
Yeah,
here?
we talked about we got some weird points here.
Yeah, we did.
Mandy Romanek said, "What is your most played game of 2016?"
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go.
It's going to be something we're not proud of. Like it's going to be one thing that we're like, "Oh, you're probably proud of that." I don't.
No, he's like,
No, I'm
you
not
can't
proud of
hatch.
it. No,
Hatch
I mean,
your thousandth egg.
I've hatched now.
There are
yeah.
spiders that don't even hatch.
I've
1,000
walked
eggs.
400 miles in
And
that
I
game.
would walk 400 more.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, I'm at like 680 kilometers now.
Wild Garbodor.
Yeah, I played a lot of that. I played 80 hours or now more than 80 hours of Persona 5 in Japanese. I played about 60-ish of Tokyo Mirage sessions. Did a lot of RPGs this year.
Yeah.
I played, The Witness. I platinumed The Witness in however many dozens of hours that took me.
I started the year playing a ton of Battlefront, and then I kind of tapered off. But I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's on my mobile phone, and it's free. And I want to give them money, but the only option to do that is either like $30 or $70. Like there's like the tiered system to be like you can't give them like $1 every like 5 days to kind of like nudge your characters along. It's like, oh, here's a $20 unlock pack, and I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like let me give you like $2 a week. Because I play your game for an hour a day.
Who makes those calls?
EA.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I figured it'd be really weird if like Double Fine is pulling the string.
I've watched all of Lost twice this year.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
That's not a game.
yeah, I know, but I'm not.
Lost
I'm not
via
pro-
Domus is.
Yeah, it is.
Available
All
on
roads lead
Xbox
here.
360, PS3, and the PC.
It was really. Yeah, I'm not super
fine.
proud of that.
What about games? What's the game you play the most of?
Like my thing is I don't play super long games, so probably I played through 36 hours of Mafia 3 in 3 days for the review. So
Yeah.
like that.
You looked like you were dead by the time you were done with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I probably played the most like Metal Gear this year, which is weird because it came out last year. I played a ton last year, and then I like came back to it because I was making that's a Big Boss Halloween costume. But I really wanted to get Quiet back. Like this whole thing. Spoilers: if you haven't played a game that came out, Quiet disappears.
I haven't played that game.
She disappears, and you can't have her on missions and stuff. But there's a weird loophole to get her back where you replay the mission where you first meet her. But as opposed to being like, oh, you replay it once and everything's hunky-dory, you have to replay the entire mission, I think 8 times. And it's like, it's fine. It's not a hard mission. It's kind of okay, but you have to skip through all these cutscenes and loading screens and kind of reload the same thing.
Is that a bug or a feature? Like,
I don't know what to call it because it was something they added in a patch. Like originally, it was kind of like, oh, you don't get to use her, like you don't get to like level her up further or whatever after this certain thing happens, whatever. But
Weird.
She comes back and she's loud though.
Yeah.
She's wearing a shirt
she's,
with, with
she's
impact
wearing a
font.
winter jacket.
yeah,
hey everybody, it's me. Quiet.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird when Gilbert Godfrey starts to
Yeah,
play.
strange.
Iago from Aladdin.
Yeah.
nobody
the
wanted
bird.
that DLC. But yeah, I played a ton of, and I also just had like I just have like a big boss model up on my screen while I was like messing with outfits, and I'd get real drunk and be like, I don't replay that level. I really enjoy it. And I jump in there. I'm like, I have forgotten how to play this game. But yeah, I love that game. It's a good game.
You all right? What are you doing with the pencil?
All right, he's doing weird things with the pencil there.
I think it's just weird there's a pencil in here.
David C. Funk says, my office is dead boring this time of year. What do you do at IGN when the news and review season comes to a halt? How do you pass the downtime at the IGN office? Is it all games?
It's shows like this, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like this, and it's like planning for next year. Like, I mean, it's dead right now, but right when we get back, there's CES, Nintendo Switch event, DICE, PAX South. Like, there's a lot in those first.
Yeah,
3
there's
weeks.
only a handful of days of the year where we're in the office where it's actually dead.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
usually they're on holidays.
it always feels like a reality show where people get voted off, where like
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks towards the end, people they're like, bye, and they hug you and they disappear.
Well, not
and
even
all of a
so
sudden you
much
look up, you're
anymore.
like, there's 7 people left in the office.
I mean, now with Star Wars movies coming out, like every year we're gonna get there's a bunch of news coming in about breaking box office records. Christmas Day is never dead because PSN goes down or Xbox
Oh, the
Live goes
Lizard,
down.
the Lizard Boys always
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy because like
Lizard Boys.
I feel like it never stops.
And next year, someone is going to have to publish a high-res gallery of Snoke.jpegs.
Some year
Be
I'll
fun.
sleep again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's super fun for that reason because it's like nonstop go. But even 5 years ago, I think there was more of a break, and now there are just so many events and they're important. But I mean, like next year, like on top of getting the Switch event, at some point we'll get Scorpio, and I'm sure Sony will have some cool tricks up their sleeve, and it'll be fun.
Like a $199 price drop.
Maybe
You heard it here
Wow.
first.
Vita 2.
I think they'll do it.
Vitas?
Down.
Go head to head with I think they'll do a $199 PS4
Yeah, I can
and
see
go
that.
head to head with Xbox's $400-$500 monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Man, if
fun.
a PS4 is cheaper than a Switch,
It will be.
that'd be crazy.
I mean, look. Wasn't a Wii U like $250 for like the longest time?
at launch. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was weird.
yeah, we're getting 2 new video game systems next year. So
Yeah.
many of you will not sleep.
so
Although
prob-
one of them will never see a store shelf.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really hard drawing Treble Clef upside down.
Before Andrew went just down that bleak downward spiral of the news cycle, I was gonna say that like when it's like kind of quiet here, like we'll try to kind of like we'll just sort of hang out in different areas, you know. Like we went in a conference room today and we were like, oh, let's hang out and just, have some downtime. And then we kept getting kicked out of conference rooms and we're like, there's like half the office is here. Why are they all booked in these rooms?
I know, it was
Why do they
very
make
odd.
us leave? But then
Bunch
we,
of engineers. They do a lot of work building the website.
Yeah.
I like that they have the best conference rooms back by engineering.
Yeah. Why don't they use those ones?
they do the most real job.
What are they doing there anyway?
they build the world.
We found a weird.
We're like, I don't like the snails in the Sky game, and they're like, hey, we made it so you can do that.
Hey, remember the weird robotic snake?
Yeah,
that
we
you and
found
Lana
there's that
found?
one secret office on the other side of the office that has a sex couch and that weird robotic snake.
Yeah.
What?
It has a leather or a,
Oh,
a leopard print couch.
The milk room.
Yeah, no, not
no,
the milk room. The milk room
not
has
the
all the
maternity
guns in
room.
it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's another secret office.
It's just all the way in the back by like next to
One
Sterling
day-
Cooper.
There was one day
Yeah.
where like the two of us and Alana spent like 3 hours in there because we just needed to get away from it. And we found this like snake stuffed animal that was also
But
like,
it's
animatronic.
noise activated.
Yeah, and so like, we would say something or put our coffee cup down, and it would go it just like appear and then go away. We're like, why did it do that?
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to that room.
Also,
Yeah.
like,
bring it
What
up.
about the Milkers room? Can we talk about
let's
that?
talk
real
about
quick?
the Milkers room.
It was filled with airsoft guns.
Yeah,
the other day.
we're gonna
There's-
get to that.
There's a tiny room here.
There's a long-standing mystery in the halls of the IGN offices, and it's the Milkers room.
So I found out.
Stop
not
calling
called
it
the
that.
Milkers
it's called
room.
the Milkers room.
I found out as from like hearsay from others throughout the years, some bygones, bygones.
That's not how that phrase is used.
That there's a room at IGN where women who have babies go to get the milk out.
So the thing, companies are legally required to have in San
Right,
Francisco.
but it's not illegal to talk
new
about.
mothers.
What
So-
are they legally required to fill it with guns? Because that's what's in there.
So Key and Peele were here. Yes, those men.
Sounds like a lie.
This sounds like a lie. Key and Peele were here in the building, and I was doing a Facebook Live video tour with them before I did an interview with them on the Up at Noon set, and I was showing them around. I'm like, this is cool. And one of them said, "What's in that room?" And I said, "That's like a breast milker's room." And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, yeah, let's try to get in there. I've never been in there. So I go to like rattle the door a little bit. And this lady pops out who works here. And I'm not going to say her name because that'd be mean. But she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was trying to get in this milker's room.
Stop calling it that. Stop it.
And she goes, you can't go in there. That's where I go to pump.
Pump it up.
And Key and Peele start laughing like crazy. I start laughing. We high five. And then we leave. And then like a month ago, or actually more like a week ago, we find out that the milker's room is open, and we went in there, and there was a bunch of toy guns.
They were like
Airsoft
There were
guns?
probably a dozen, maybe 20
Yeah.
airsoft guns.
And then
Some
there's
of them
like a
were-
little throne-shaped chair for milking.
Yes, there is definitely a milker's chair. I was surprised at how like it looked like a place where people would go to hide.
So Andy Markison says, tell the story of how you found out that Santa doesn't exist.
And so that's where you can find the milker's room at IGN.
The last 5 minutes of the story is how I found out God doesn't exist.
All right, Santa, how does everybody find out about that fraud?
I lost my teddy bear when I was really little. And I lost it. It was like one of those like things you see like an episode of Rugrats about that's just like very sad. It was depressing, whatever. And then for Christmas, I got this teddy bear that was like the same one, but I was like, that's not my bear. Like
Yeah.
it was the same toy, but it wasn't the same exact one.
You
And
knew?
it was like from Santa, I found Teddy, and I was like,
That's two lies.
It was like that Angelina Jolie movie, The Changeling. But yeah, I was like, that's not mine. And then like a month later, my mom was like, I called up a bunch of places, and the bear was at the grocery store, and I was like,
So you have two bears?
no, I think I was just like, I don't want that imposter in my house. Like, I don't want this fake,
Yep.
fraud bear. Yeah. So that was like I was just like, I just pieced together. I was like, this isn't real. I was like, this is Santa Claus brought me a fake man. This is not my bear.
I don't remember mine.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like I just knew.
I feel like it must not have been that traumatic for me.
Yeah.
My dad is a teacher, and he's a college professor, and he had like these really cool sort of like international classes. They would come and learn English and a bunch of other stuff, writing. And I guess in smaller schools like that, like, and especially in other countries, it's like customary for the students to like give the professor like a small gift at the end
Well,
of
yeah,
the
it's
year.
called kiss assing.
Yeah, it is. They used to give apples. and then-
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and my dad's more of like a cake dude.
Yeah. One of those healthy breads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the nice protein
The
filled snack.
protein squares. So they brought him like a bunch of gifts, like picture frames and other stupid things, like little knickknacks, just garbage, nothing really of importance. And I saw it was like it was like a frame picture of the class, like he wanted that. He's like, I'm gonna get a new one in like 3 months. I don't need this get dunked on. So he had this one package that was wrapped up, and it was sitting next to it a little tag that said F, and underneath it said 0. And I was like, oh no, he failed one of his students and he felt really bad. And he gave him this present. And I was like, that's really weird that he failed a student for getting an F0. And they gave him this present. And then I was like, oh shit, that's F0 for the Super Nintendo. I'm getting F0 for Super Nintendo. And then I realized the Santa's fake.
We learned a lot of important things through the discovery of jet racing simulators.
What was that story?
Really? At least I remember mine, you idiot, you old drunk.
So yeah, the holidays are a time of like being with people you love and having a real good time with them, and maybe calling them names. I don't know what you do at your house. It's not my business, but hopefully you got F-Zero for the Super Nintendo from Santa Claus. This is Podcast Beyond. We have a fun time doing it. I'm Max Scoville. You can find me on Twitter at Max Scoville. You can find Brian, Agent Bizzle. You can find all kinds of his Christmas musings, I'm sure. And then Goldfarb is Garfep. It's always weird saying that. I just always feel like I'm flubbing a line when I say that.
Yeah, Greg used to mispronounce all the time too. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a weird vowel
And
consonant.
then
rotation.
Marty is McBiggity with 2 G's and 2 T's,
Yes,
which
sir.
is not an item on the McDonald's menu.
It will be someday,
Much to-
though,
much
when
to his
I
surprise.
lose my job and become a McDonald's man.
They're like all of a Big Mac.
when I decide to
McBiggity.
run for Mayor McCheese in the 2017 election.
Mr. Mac, they'll call you.
Yeah.
Well, the Electrical College is bound to have something to say about that when they cast all their votes.
They're both.
All right. This is a dumb show. We have a good time. I'm excited to do it in 2017, and I hope you guys stick around for that. In the meantime, Happy New Year and Happy Holidays and whatever the other things you're supposed to say at the end of
It's
it.
beyond is what you said.
Beyond, yeah.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond.
And remember,
Beyond.
stay out of the milker's room.
Yeah, don't go in there and don't peep at those presents. They're all airsoft guns.